Howdy, welcome back. We're going to be talking about this Mystery Starkiller Variant number 8. So this was prepared for a different Starfall client, and I think before it was installed, it was sold on the secondhand market. So my client, David of the Sabers Museum, picked it up and had me do my normal thing with it. So we did do a resin greeblie chassis, but as with a lot of these Starkiller variants, we do have the very cool exposed crystal chamber. In the back, we've got a strip of 2020 accents. For the most part, those only do something in the on state, but there's a couple examples where I do something different just to mix it up. Up top, we're using the Goth3D G-Pix with the cruciform 1515s. There's about 28 of them there. I've subbladed those into 3 different rings. We do have our dome tactile switch on this switch box. So top is our main, bottom is our aux. And the nice thing about this particular variant is that we've got an unscrewable grip or a threaded grip. Most of these Starkillers that Nick does from scratch will have a set screw that locks in to the upper part. So other cool thing is we've got a lower chamber on this one. It's 180 degrees from the regular chamber, and then it's a cracked marble crystal. So we just have a single Neopixel under that one. Same thing with this guy, just a single 50/50 Neo, so it's super bright. But then we've got my resin greeblie chassis that I do. Tried to kind of paint to match the aesthetics, and then just something different on this one. So let's hop down to the table. Let's show off what's going on with those chassis accents. We'll show off a couple blade styles, switch through some fonts, and then we'll put a blade in it and then show off some other blade styles, and then we'll call it a day. So as before, we have the grip already off. I do like the fact that one, it's nice and grippy with the knurling pattern, but then also we've got that threaded on, so it's easy on and off, no problem. Do have a kill switch here, so everything turns off. We've got a 28mm KR bass speaker. We've got 2 miniature Edison filaments flanking that, so those do something in the on and off state, a little something different. And on this particular design, I've got matching baffled greeblie accents with a 2020 strip under it. And those do something different in the on and off state for each preset. And then you can see on the paint job, we got a little bit of heat staining pigment. Let me turn this off real quick just so we can see that. Just to make that a little cool. And then obviously I do touches of color here and there to mix it up. And then differences in my rub and buff with gold and silver and all that stuff. So this is a Proffie V3 running OS 8.10, latest and greatest, pretty stable. It offers some nice features for how to program this guy, as well as some other things. So hit the kill switch. Config is on the SD card for future reference, obviously. And then this comes obviously with the Starfall font package, plus the additional aftermarket fonts that I normally do for David. One quick thing is, let's pop the battery out. So we do my normal battery wrap 18650. We've got the Starfall logo in the tray there, but we've got our positive terminal clearly indicated. But as always, spring side is your negative, nipple goes to the nipple. And then my battery wrap, you can either put my logo or these, circuit designs this way, or if you tend to hold it this way when you're looking at the chassis, you can read it that way. Or if you don't want to kind of see anything, you can sort of just focus on that. But I will put it that way, hit it back on. Boot sound, again, blue, cool Edison filaments. Let me turn this on, muted, just so I can talk over it. So you can sort of see, here, I'll turn this down. The way I program my Edison filaments is to do something like, so that you can see that it's blinking. Oops, I didn't start it muted. So, and then clashes and blasts will go brighter. So you can hear me clicking the aux button. And you can see it. You can see it in the back of my hand and then the front one that's facing us. It go brighter. And then obviously the chassis accents do the same. They'll do something different for each preset. Same thing goes for the crystal chamber. We can see the backlit only turns on in the on state. Again, double tap to start muted. So we've got that transition into the on state. That's doing something different. It's going in reverse order and a lot faster than it was in the off state. But yeah, aux for blaster blocks. And then, you know, you can lock up by holding it and clashing and have yourself a strobe party. So turn this back on, turn that off. So that was the Starfall font. Go to the next one, and then you can see different color in each of the crystal chamber accents. And then this one, I think, has a green backlit or yellow, one of the two. Green, yeah. So pretty neat. This is our Mace style font. So as with all of these, if there is an OS voice pack and I know who the character is based on, I put that into the preset folder. So if we want to hold aux and tap power, we'll get a battery level from Mace Windu.
Battery level 94%.
In the opposite, we can hold power and tap aux and get into volume menu.
Enter volume menu.
And as with these 28mm speakers, I will usually programming it to a certain level, but then back it off just so that it operates a little bit better.
Maximum volume.
But you can always pump these.
Exiting volume menu.
And then we can put a blade in it and show it off later. But and then if we put the grip on, you can see how that sounds. So really cranking loud, which is why I usually back it off.
Enter volume menu. Exiting volume menu.
And I don't know if my lapel mic is picking up, but even that's still really nice and loud. So these are great designs. Way to go, Nick. Yeah. All right, so let's put a blade in it. This takes a 7/8 diameter blade. Or wait, no, this one's 1 inch. My bad. 1 inch diameter Neopixel blade. I'm using my Quantum blade with an adapter so that we can get that. I will say that the set screw is up top. So I will grab a little Allen key for that. So engage our set screw right there. And then we've got gesture control, or again, top is power, bottom's aux. So regular mode is just pressing the button. Right. So now clashes will get our glancing effects. If we want to engage a lockup, we have to hold one of those buttons. Right. But we can twist off, and if we twist on, or if we thrust on, we'll engage battle mode. So let me see if I can do a thrust on. There we go. You kind of have to be parallel. So now I'm in battle mode, so if I do lightly tap, we'll still get that clash. But above a certain threshold, get a lockup, right? And I demonstrate this every time, but lockups are also tip effects. So sideways for melt, down for drag. I'm not going to do that this particular time, but
Hero's Journey.
But yeah, show off that crystal chamber, and then the backlighting. So this is one that has a preon. And I press the button to engage that preon. Right. But our gestures will bypass preons, so. And then point up to do a designated track by holding power for 2 seconds. Any other position, hold it again for 2 seconds to turn it off. But if we're in any other position in the off state, we'll get into track player mode. It'll be preceded by a chime that lets you know you're in track player. And then you rotate the saber to pick your track, press either of the two buttons to keep that track playing and to be able to move the hilt after that effect. So let's do that real quick. There's our chime. You can scroll through. A lot of these just start very quiet. There we go. And I hit power, so now it'll just play through. And obviously it'll keep playing even though this is on. And then we can just, again, hold it for 2 seconds to turn it off, so.
Reconcile.
All right. So on this one, we have color change direct. We hold aux and tap power. We'll engage color change direct, so it'll just go from white to purple, and that'll happen in the crystal chamber as well. So you can see that going up my arm. But if we're in another preset,
Legacy.
holding Ox and tapping power will get into the color wheel. And the Proffie OS voice pack will let us know which color we're on.
Red, orange, dark orange, orange.
On this one, we've got Luke. I'm gonna hit Aux to revert, but if we like that color, we can hit power.
Revert.
One quick thing to note, color change on the fly does not affect any of the chassis accents. It'll just affect the main blade. If you do want to get into the nitty gritty, I've got edit mode. This is running OS 8.10. So you can get into edit mode, and then each particular blade will have its own designated blade. It'll blink to know that that's the one you're on if you want to change it. And then you can get in there and you can change the on color, off color, blast color, clash. You can get in and change all of the things that you want to, but
Alliance.
I don't generally cover that here. It'll be on the printout.
Ascension.
But, right. If we want to do a force effect, hold power for 2 seconds when the blade's on. Right? It'll only do something for as long as there's a force effect sound, so that was very short. That one's a little bit longer, right? If the font has quotes in a quote folder, you can point the hilt down and hold power for 2 seconds, and you'll flip between force player and quote player mode. The quote won't do anything in the blade, but you will hear a sound effect being played. I don't think Alliance or Legacy or Ascension have any, but...
Party Saber.
Now we're into Party Saber, and so we do have special abilities. So special ability 1 does our party mode, which means heavy accent swings. There's our little transition sound. So heavy accent swings will change the color of the blade. Now I've done it so the crystal matches as well. However, the chassis accent or the crystal accent in the back does not change. So some of the colors may mix funny. Depending on which color you're on. So I think, yeah, this one's got a blue crystal or cyan, and then in the back it's yellow. So that's party mode.
Ninth Sister.
Ninth Sister doesn't have anything. It's just a really cool bassy font. So if you want to crank the volume on this one's one of my favorite bass fonts. She does have quotes, so if we point down,
ready to join your friends? Last chance to surrender.
she's fun.
I've been dreaming of your death for so long. Sleep tight.
Now we're into force player, and on this one I have it go bright white, and it goes unstable. Here we've got the crystal bleed for our special ability, and again, special ability 1 is hold power and twist to the left quickly. So you'll see that happen. And then once it gets fully to the end, the crystal will change colors, and then the hub will change. There we go. So now you can see the back accent is, and we've changed to an alternate hum. If you want to do a quick change, hold power and twist to the left. Okay, so now we're back to both being blue. So again, I've just matched these because I think it's fun. And again, we got that red crystal. All right.
Chimere?
And then on the Acolyte series, our special ability is Cortosis Clash. So hold power, twist to the right. You'll get a transition sound that sounds like a roar. You have 3 seconds from that point to clash the saber, and then it'll do the Cortosis Clash where it glitches out. And but again, if you don't do it within 3 seconds, you'll miss it. So there's our roar. Now we're glitching out. Sound effects. And this is technically the off state where it's pulsing. The 2-phase ignition, and now we're back up. And then if there's a power up or anything like that with the on state, it'll do that. So if you saw that went bright white, and now we're back into an on state. So that's for any of the Acolyte series characters. All of those have Cortosis Clash.
My name is York. Kill.
Master Forest.
Padawan Tor.
Balan Skull.
Now we're just in another set of fonts.
Shinhati.
Darth Revan.
And that is it. So
Battery level.
very last preset is battery level. This is programmed for a 36-inch blade length. So if you have something different, you may not see this, but this is obviously just one of those where if you don't have a blade in, the chassis accents will and the crystal will go from green to red. As this one dips down, it'll get close to red as well. You may start to hear artifacts in the audio if it's really low charged because it's lighting all the other stuff and running the sound. It'll maybe sound like crackly or whatever. It's not the speaker. It's just you need to charge your battery. So if you're ever curious, again, hold aux tap power. You'll get a percentage readout.
Battery level 80%.
So there you go. That can obviously change even in the moment, depending on which colors are being lit up. So, and that's it. So when we're ready, we'll take our Allen key, pull the set screw out for the blade retention, if I don't drop it. And again, we have this nice threaded grip. Take the whole thing off. And then we'll hit kill switch. Everything goes off. And we're ready to store indiscriminately. So that is Starfall Mystery Starkiller number 8. To the client, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. And for anyone else out there watching, may the force be with you and take care of one another.